Hey everyone, it's Dragon Rider. We are well into the mini set reveals for Fall of Ulduar, and we're about to look at some warrior cards. Control Warrior about to get even better. So let's take a look at these. We're going to start with the one that I don't think necessarily fits into Control Warrior, but we have the Battle-Worn Faceless. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Battlecry, transform into a copy of a damaged minion. Okay, this I feel like immediately kind of strikes me as something that fits a little bit better into Enrage Warrior, especially because it is cheap, so you can kind of play out some of those maybe rush or charge minions that Enrage Warrior uses. Play this for 2 after it's damaged, and then you get to send another minion into your opponent's minions, or into their face, potentially, if it has charge. So I kind of like this for a couple different archetypes, but I don't know if it fits into Control Warrior necessarily. The next two I do think can fit into Control Warrior and really have that armor type of theme to them. So the first one here is Sanitize. It's a 4-mana spell. Deal damage equal to your armor to all minions. Forge, gain 3 armor first. So this is pretty interesting. You can spend a total of 6 mana over, you don't have to do it in the same turn. You can forge and then play this later. But that forging does mean that you're guaranteed to get at least 3, which then dealing 3 damage to all minions can clear against some decks. So that seems okay. Being able to deal damage equal to your armor, though, without it actually using your armor. We have had cards like that in the past, but this one doesn't, consume, it doesn't use up your armor. It just deals the damage equal to your armor, and then you keep the armor. This definitely seems pretty fantastic. You do have to have the armor, though. That is the requirement, so it's a little bit less consistent than some of the other removal. But I do think that this can definitely be a fantastic tool, especially for decks that are already working with gaining armor and using armor. So that seems like a fantastic removal tool. And then the last warrior card that we have for this mini set is General Vezax. General Vezax? I don't know how to say this. General Vezax. The General is a 7-mana 7/6. It is a legendary, so you can only have one. But it's a 7-mana 7/6 with Rush, and Battlecry, gain 4 armor, Death Rattle, lose 4 armor to resummon this. Okay, wow. So 6 health will probably, in a lot of cases, I would say, probably take 2 hits to kill it, but against maybe some slower decks like Warlock currently in Standard, or even maybe Relic Demon Hunter if the relics have kind of been built up. It also is likely that there's 6 attack minions on the other side, so you can rush this in, kill something, and you immediately had gained that 4 armor. So then if you kill this the turn you play it, you have that 4 armor available to use and resummon it. Now, this one does use and consume the armor to actually get that secondary effect, but pretty dang good. And if it's resummoning it, it's going to have that death rattle again, right? So if you have more armor, you could potentially resummon this 3, 4, 5 times. Who knows? But you could consistently get to resummon this, and that could be really obnoxious because it's just going to make it difficult for a lot of decks to actually answer and remove, finally remove, and it actually be officially gone and not just going to be resummoned. So this one is actually really, really cool and really interesting, and I think is kind of a different way of having a death rattle that brings it back, with also having to kind of have a requirement to bring it back. And just that makes it feel really cool, and like you can actually use strategies to continue to keep this thing on the board. And that feels like a really good design in my opinion. So I think this is a really cool legendary, and the fact that it has Rush impacts the board immediately. The resummoned, if you get that, is going to have Rush. So this seems like it is going to be a very incredible, powerful minion that's probably going to get really annoying for a lot of players on the other side of the board. But I do think that this is going to be a very good one in a lot of those kind of control armor gain warrior decks. These seem like some pretty great warrior cards, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much to everyone who has been replying with their thoughts. I've been loving seeing the comments. And if you haven't already, don't forget to check out these couple of videos for some of those other class cards that I have been reviewing for this mini set. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one.